係啦，4個真，呢啲就係在場㗎。咁一陣間嗌口號啊、唱歌啊嗰啲跟住嗰啲。如果派到尾唔夠咧，就一個 couple 咁啊，先人一張。Hey John, John event. If you just walk by with something 喂，俾張呢啲佢啊，嗰個女仔可能佢唔係裝。喂，幫手呢啲派俾你。
我幫手。點啊？你幫我 hold 住先。OK。因為我要搞一搞個咪。
而家係呢個
就咁呢直播人哋有個。我搞完我咩再攞。
咁你陣間大家就咁樣企喺呢度咁望住我哋呢邊啦。可能會3搭8先開始啦。企嗰時就分散啲企，唔好企埋一堆咁樣嚇。咁啊睇到好似多啲人咁啊。俾一張呢個。
其實而家咧已經直播咗出去㗎啦。
佢應該都會係周圍。
如果你冇戴耳機咧，我講嘢你就未必會聽得到咯。
呢個係自己整嘅。我嘗試用手畫，但係冇乜啲藝術嘅天分。
我要真普選係雨傘運動嗰時嘅口號啊！
有冇人有新嘅蒸餾水？有冇人有蒸餾水啊？我架車有，你叫下精神我吧。你翻咗嚟行翻。呢個地
方係咪三藩市嘅市中心啊？
我哋後面你揾人招呼下佢。Hey, how are you? You by yourself? 佢叫咩名啊？唔記得咗。你個電話係？國書。上次係點樣做啊？
你 USB-C to C 喎，但係佢呢個冇 cable 喎。
哎呀，冇㗎呢個。
咁你上次點樣做？
上次我自己攞嚟喎，
即係你冇。
我冇帶。
咁你呢個盡量近啲個喇叭啦。OK。你而家收聲收得清唔清啊 ，Lucy 你哋？
我而家收得清，但而家你仲未發言住。
未開始。
係啊，我見到你帶你個喇叭，我估應該 OK 嘅。
你唔好用咪住，我太大聲，我聽唔到你講咩啊。
OK，
聽到佢嘅話。
OK，我明你意思。我而家行近少少個 microphone。
係啊，如果下次直播，如果係記住戴個耳機，我講嘢你就會聽得清楚啲咯。係啊，你近住呢個喇叭就會 OK 啲咯。
耳機我哋未必有啊。頭先我係另外一位。頭先嗰位行咗去揾耳機，但係搞唔到。
佢個耳機要係嗰個邊個嘅手個電話咧，嗰個人佢自己有。
我明白。冇嗰個adapter。
好啊。
揾緊啊！哇，揾緊。
好啊，唔該晒。
得㗎啦，我會執生同你俾個靚 shot 你。
好啊，辛苦你啦。
唔好咁講。
香港人好關心啊，即係香港入邊嘅香港人咧就好關心出邊有冇做嘢啊。
係明白嘅。
每一次呢啲活動咧，我見到佢哋留言留得好感動啊。
係。
你咁樣演下啲特寫都幾好。
係。
喂，而家我哋上 YouTube 睇唔睇到㗎？
我而家 stream 緊，係咪而家 stream 緊出去啊？請問？
而家直播緊啊！
直播緊啦，而家已經。
而家現場暫時有37個人睇緊喺個線度。
OK， 好啦。
所以而家你喺現場講嘢嗰啲，佢哋全部可以聽到嘅。你可以介紹下而家呢個係咪三藩市嘅中心？
唔啱。
你哋呢個活動係三藩市會館，香港人會館舉辦嘛？係咪啊？
唔啱喎。差唔入。我哋搞緊啲 connection 嗰啲嘢。
好啊，盡量啦。如果冇就算啦，真係唔好意思啊。
唔係，唔好咁講。喂，OK。差唔多。嚇？呢個唔係 USB-C 嚟嘅，呢個扁啲嘅，呢個再扁啲嘅，呢個唔係 USB-C。
係 C 嚟嘅，肯定係 C。
肯定插唔入喎，大佬。
係啊，插唔入啊。
佢
係啊。呢個係咩嚟㗎？呢個我都唔知啊。
呢個咪舊款嘅 Lighting 嗰啲嚟㗎。
哦 ，Lighting 嚟㗎。
Lighting 嚟嘅呢個，如果
呢個 iPhone 嚟嘅咩
iPhone 嚟嘅呢個係
呢個唔係 iPhone 嚟㗎嘛
iPhone 嚟，iPhone 嚟，大大哥。
一樣啊嘛。
係啊。
我呢個係 C 嘅，我呢個就
C 嚟嘅。
我呢個 C，但佢呢個 Lighting 嚟可能係。
哦，係啊。
我呢度有啲 business card 咧，可以派 file 嗰陣時啊，順便派埋俾佢哋嘅話，O 唔 OK 啊？你哋睇個 stream 嗰度 O 唔 OK 啊？O 唔 OK 啊？聽得清唔清楚啊？睇到 OK。
聽得清楚，而家好好。
OK 啊，即係你上去睇到冇問題啦。但係你拍一次走。係
啊，咁就係個手，因為你個手黏住冇個腳架啊嘛，咁就盡量令到個畫面冇震動咯。
我睇下得唔得？
真係唔好意思。
唔係，搞掂。
你聽唔聽到我哋講嘢？
我聽到啊。
OK， 而家佢插咗個無線咪。
插住個無線咪嗰次好啲喎。
好啲係嘛？佢話好啲呀。咁我哋用無線咪，咁我就唔近咁個現場個 microphone 咁犀利啦嚇。
好啊。
好啦。咁之後我就唔出聲啦。
你可以出聲，可以介紹嘅，唔緊要。
OK。
我哋第一次用文字咯，而家講係咪清楚啲啊？我都真係唔準講。你都問我係少學
O 唔 OK 啊？
而家佢仲未開始發言，一陣間佢發言我聽下先。
OK， 好似話唔得喎而家。
哦，咁你要叫個館長布魯士佢要搞掂好啲設備啦，下次。
OK。
喂 ，1 2 3。
你講嘢就聽得好幾清楚，你自己啊。
應該聽唔到啊，應該聽唔到。
哦。
聽唔到。OK。
唔係佢嗰個回師牌有數嘅，所以唔係要啊。應該。
佢回師牌有乜問題啊？
佢想瞄咗個。
如果唔得，你就企喺嗰個喇叭側邊都唔得，反都係斜斜。
未得啊，冇啊，冇 level 啊，直頭唔跳標。
係。呢家又跳咯。
而家有跳標，
大概聽唔到，而家聽唔聽到？
而家得唔得 ？Lucy， 而家得唔得？
而家
有人講而家有
講嘢先。
講嘢，我聽到。哦，有人聽到，佢聽到。OK。
我咧聽唔聽到我講？聽唔聽到我講？
細聲聽到。
大聲
細
一半咯，
細聲啫喎。
而家好細聲咯。
細聲聽到 ，Lucy 話細聲聽到。
咁要唔要用啊？咁唔好用啊，不如。哦，唔係，OK，收咗呢個咧。
OK。
咁你盡量企喺個喇叭附近啦。
收到。OK， 咁我哋而家企翻喺個喇叭附近。
好啊。
我哋唔用嗰個無線咪。
好。
咁但係 OK 㗎，你放心。
係啊，唔該。你
分鐘就開始啦。
係啊，而家呢度反而大聲冇啲。
盡量企啲人咧，嗱呢度中間就有啲空位啊，咁啊企啊，即係盡量每一個位置都 fill in 曬啲人喺度啦。咁係咪每一個人都攞咗一張嘢啊？啊，入邊有啊唱歌啊，咁啊同埋嗌口號啊嗰啲。如果唔夠咧就
影下啲香港人，係啊，影下呢啲。
我哋5分鐘就開始啦。
出鏡就影咯，如果唔佢哋唔願意出鏡就唔好影佢哋。
係現場啊，有人幫下手派下啲俾啲途人啊咁樣。
參加者明白㗎啦。
哦。
Test。播下音樂啊！大家可以跟住一齊唱喎，張紙上邊有歌詞嘅 ，OK。邊個好歌星可以上嚟唱啊？有邊個冇人過呢度攞唔該？OK， 咁啊，而家正式開始啦。Test。OK， 首先啊，多謝大家今日嚟。大家知道係今日係呢個集會係因為咩事啊？就係為咗我哋聲援香港嗰47個 我哋為咗正義發聲嘅議員，佢好被港共政府無理咁樣、好粗暴咁樣拘捕，仲係啱啱宣布咗嘅年期亦都係以年嚟計嘅，最高嗰個超過10年。我哋喺海外吸收呢個自由空氣，一定要為呢個事情發聲，因為佢哋做緊嘅事情喺過去100幾年嚟，香港同埋而家現今歐美嘅社會一直做緊嘅合法、合情、合理嘅事，但係就俾佢咁樣無理咁樣拘捕，而年期亦都係好長，剝奪咗佢哋嘅人身自由，喺佢哋人生最寶貴嘅時間，失去咗佢嘅自由，拉晒入監獄。我希望我哋而家強烈譴責港共政府呢個咁嘅粗暴行為，我要求佢即刻釋放所有嘅呢啲全部有良知嘅香港嘅前議員，同埋港共政府所有官員，我相信佢哋一定遲早有一日大審判日，佢哋一定會全部落地獄。
Good afternoon. I'm Kenny Lee on behalf of U.S. Hong Kongers Club, the organizer. I want to welcome you all to this event to support the Hong Kong 47. Last Tuesday, Hong Kong court sentenced this brave individual to terms ranging from 4 years to 10 years in prison. What crime? For conspiring to commit the crime of subversion against the state. But the only crime was participating in a primary election in which over 60,000 people voted in. The irony is clear. It is not they who undermine the state, but the very act of this punishment. That's clearly a subversion of justice and democracy. Today, we gather not just to condemn this injustice, but to honor the courage of these 47 individuals who remind us what it means to fight for freedom. We have a program planned today to amplify the voices, to show the world that we will not be silent. Here's how today's event will unfold. We'll start saying the names and sentences. Our guest speakers will share the voices of freedom. And then we'll open the mic for everyone. Then we will have a section to come together in spirit, each in our own way, to pray for the Hong Kong 47 and their families. Then, well, it won't be a protest for Hong Kong if there's no such thing. We'll sing the song, Glory to Hong Kong, a song in which is banned in the city right now. And we'll wrap the event with a group photo for those who want to wear a mask, please do. So let's start with say the names and sentences. We have 2 ladies who will be doing it.
再重申一次，今日我哋有出 YouTube Live 同埋有電視台嚟拍。你有邊個唔方便嘅，我哋有口罩可以供應。係，咁你一個人讀晒啊嘛。我哋好。
我哋有47人，有45人係被判監。為咗尊重佢哋，我哋每一個人，我哋讀一個佢嘅名。我將會以廣東話係宣讀佢哋嘅名。戴廷耀判監10年，周家成判監7年9個月，廖嘉儀7年3個月，吳正芬7年3個月。何桂蘭7年，柯樂欣6年9個月，林翠萍6年9個月，梁國豪6年9個月，姚慧明6年9個月，何啟明
咪近喇叭少少啊
6年9個月，施德來、柯耀林都係判監6年7個月。鄭達豪、楊雪瑩、彭卓琪、黃碧雲、
陳志全，佢哋判監係6年零6個月；伍健偉5年零7個月；林景南5年零2個月；楊樂橋佢係判監5年零1個月；梁晃維4年零11個月；張可心4年零11個月；黃之鋒係被判監4年零8個月；尹兆堅4年零8個月；岑敖暉4年半；馮達俊4年零5個月；劉澤鋒、譚德志、胡志偉、朱凱迪、黃子悅、吳敏儀、劉永康都係被判監4年零5個月；岑子傑、李家達、譚漢邦、雷志恒、黃伯宇都係被判監4年零3個月；徐子健、毛萬靜、譚文浩、郭家麒、范國威，佢哋判監係4年零2個月。基本上今次係判刑，基本上至少4年，最嚴重嘅已經係10年。其實仲有其他人嘅，
好似黎智英啦，我諗佢希望有生之年可以出到嚟見大家。
其實仲有佢係有成差唔多1900個人係為香港而犧牲，為香港而坐監，仲有大大小小唔同嘅人係離開咗香港。
可能頭先有讀漏咗幾個，不過大家可以自己喺呢度睇翻，因為太多啊。咁而家呢個就係我有幾個嘉賓出嚟分享對一件事情。Cindy 講先好冇？定係聽 ？OK。佢用英文講嘅，希望可以經過啲路人可以聽到，知道發生咩事。
Hello, hello. This one is better. You hear me okay? You hear me okay? Yeah. You hear me okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Hey. Hi, everyone. Hi. Welcome and thank you. Thank you for your courage. Nowadays, it's not easy, to be there to show up without fear, with the white terror, all around the world. So thank you, everyone. And I want to share not just the 47 descendants cases, you all know about it, but I want to draw the American attention. And the message is for not just the government in the United States, but all the world, all the international governments should pay attention to this. Because these 47 trials is not just the case happening in Hong Kong. It's happening here right now on this land in America. It's not just starting from today. It started from in President Nixon. When American, we were very kind. We know that they are poor. We try to open the gate and welcome to do business, to have business with the world. But since then, after that, we start with kindness, just like all the Hong Kongers. I believe if you're born and raised in Hong Kong, you probably remember. I still remember when I was a little girl. I don't remember how much we have to donate to mainland China people. When they are poor, when they have landslide, we donate billion. When they need school, we build school. When they need hospital, we send our doctors. We try to build their community. We try to help them and support them. Just like United States, we start with kindness, but now they turn around and fight us. This is real, and this is true. In 1994, if you remember, we opened the Northern American Free Trade Agreement. Remember that? So we welcome China to come and do business. And then in 1992, and then in 2001, we allow them to join WHO, right? and then we start to have their business. So they grow, become richer and richer, and become big, right? Okay. I want you to know that all American is not just the issue happening in Hong Kong. The dictatorship of the CCP is impacting the well-being of all Americans. The mental health and also the financial struggles. Why we have so many homeless here? It's not unfamiliar to all of you. I'm dealing with it every single day. I'm a psychiatric chaplain. I deal with death and dying every day. I can tell you, I'm the first person to listen to the story. Not all of them born with mental health issues. Many of them, they have the mental struggles because they are under oppression. 55% of the homeless people, why they become homeless? I'm telling you, they are very kind people. They are very educated. They have their career. But since all the trade, all the business, we already offspring to China. We close so many factories, manufacture. Everything is not made here again. Everything is made in China. I'm also a research chaplain. I have thousands of case studies I can share with you. How CCP, suppress people, and how the dictatorship, they rule people's mental and spiritual wellness. But today, I want to read a research for all of you. It's very, very short. This is a research from Kimball and Scott in 2014. They said, growing U.S. trade deficit with China caused 3.2 million jobs between 2001 and 2013, with jobs losses in every state. We lost all the job opportunity in United States in all 50 states. Friends, I have so many good American friends. They are in the 60s, 70s. They said, when I was a little girl, little boy, I never seen any homeless people in San Francisco. That's what they share with me. Why? Because of this trade. Because we opened the gates. Because we were too kind. Because we want to accept. We want to be diversity. We want to receive everybody. We want to have free trade. But it's hard to do business with liar. Just like our former secretary, Mike Pompeo, remember what he said in the Nixon Library speech? I highly recommend you Google it, double check, read it. He said, to do business with China, verify and distrust. Verify and distrust. Don't tell me, love one another. I know, this is the Bible teaching. Love one another, God said, love one another to human being, but not to evil. God stands against of all evil. We lost the job. That's why 55% of the homeless here because of the China trade, the free trade. Think about it, okay? You need to take the next step. What are we going to do? Anything MIC? Don't buy. Make in China, I mean. I know it's hard. It's very challenging, but I believe you can do it, okay? So don't forget Jimmy Lai. One more thing I need to mention. If we have any Catholic people here, Jimmy Lai is your dear brother. He is the one willing to sacrifice himself. He is doing something just like our Jesus Christ. He chose, he was able to choose to leave. He has so many opportunities, but he chose to stay and suffer because he said, everything I have today is because of Hong Kong. Hong Kong gave me all the prosperities and all the opportunity. So he chose to stay and sacrifice. So compare with them, we are nothing. So finally, if you are Catholic people, please talk to your priests, talk to your sisters and brothers or your leaders. Tell them that Jimmy Lai is already in jail, I think, almost 4 years, and without bail. They decline not just a lawyer, and they also decline him to receive Holy Communion. So CCP is not just violation of the human rights, they also violation of the religious law. This is huge. This is very evil. I want all the religious believers, pay attention to this and take accountability. The other one we need to take accountability is the death of the COVID people. Did you know that how many deaths altogether so far died for COVID? I was the one in the hospital when everybody was work from home. I was the one holding the dying people's hand, one after the other. I know that this is completely avoidable, but because China tried to cover up, they want to hide it. Remember the first whistleblower, Dr. Li Wenliang? Remember? He was the first one. And then they shut him up, silenced him. Everyone. The total, as I know, in August, the total death of COVID people around the world is more than 8 million people, which is more than the death in World War II. How can we not to do accountability to CCP? Amen. Thank you.
多謝。下一位係余先生喺台灣課代表。請2分鐘。多謝你過嚟。
各位朋友，我哋都係響香港嚟嘅人，香港係我哋嘅家園，香港曾經俾我哋一個和平、安定、有好嘅生活，但係咧，到咗今日，香港咧已經係俾共產黨咧毀滅咗，香港唔再係東方之珠，香港咧已經係經濟、政治各個方面都俾共產黨搞到關齊。咁我哋咧，而家就睇睇共產黨喺香港所做嘅嘢，正如呢個主席所舉辦呢個集會俾我哋好好嘅信息，就係而家香港幾十人、47人已經係俾佢判為犯罪。我問大家，嗰47人有冇罪？冇罪，冇罪。佢哋連一條罪都冇，佢哋係被冤枉嘅。佢哋係為香港人努力，嗰幾十人係為香港人努力，為香港人嘅前途而努力，使到香港繁榮，成為呢亞洲嘅4小龍。我哋大家喺香港過個生活，你哋知道我哋個個喺香港生活都過得好好，但係而家呢，俾佢共產黨搞呢個所謂國安法，就拉咗47人，判佢哋入獄。佢47人呢，係為香港前途而努力。係爭取真普選，係為選舉使到香港咧成為一個現代化嘅民主嘅城市。呢個國安法係咩東西咧？國安法根本就係為共產黨實行專制統治所訂立嘅惡法，每一條法律係攞嚟抓人、拉人。國安法係咩法？係屁法，係屁法，係大家都明白。
講得好，多謝多謝。
好啦，咁啊多謝大家先啦嚇。
下一位就係美國香港，呢位先生等你就我安排咗之後俾你發言，係咪想發言 ？OK， 下一位係美國香港人會館嘅代表。
Hey, hello, it's me again. Hey, earlier I mentioned that today we gather here not just to condemn the injustice, but to honor the courage of the Hong Kong 47. Welcome you again. So let us remember some of the names and stories. For history, we remember and write a different narrative than the one written by the oppressors. Let us remember, first, Professor Benny Tai, sentenced to 10 years, labeled the subversion mastermind. History will not remember him as a criminal. History will remember him as a visionary who dared to dream for democratic Hong Kong. He Guilam, a journalist, nicknamed the Big Sister of Stand News, was sentenced to 7 years. During the Yuen Long attack, she was broken to the ground, but kept live streaming the truth. In court, she challenged fabricated testimony and was sent to solitary confinement. At her mitigation hearing, she stood firm, refusing to plead for leniency. The regime has tried to break her multiple times. But He Guilam remains unbroken, a symbol of courage and truth, and inspiration for the next generation of women and freedom fighters. Next, Claudia Mo, a legislator, was sentenced to 4 years and 2 months. She has found a new purpose in prison. Too damn busy teaching English to the other inmates, refusing to let oppression dim her spirit. Joshua Wong, an activist, sentenced to 4 years. As he walked past the courtroom on Tuesday, he shouted, "I love Hong Kong." His unwavering love for the city echoes in our hearts today. Leung Go-hong, an activist and former legislator, he was sentenced to 7 years. When asked to plead, he declared, "I have no crime to plead," refusing to legitimize the charges against him. Last but not least, Gary Fan, a legislator, was sentenced to 4 years and 2 months. He and I share an alma mater and a history. In 1989, we stood together at Tiananmen Square vigil in front of San Francisco City Hall, holding a moment of silence for those sacrificed and fought for freedom. That same spirit lives on in him and in all of us here today. The Hong Kong 47 remind us the price of freedom and the power of courage. They may be in prison, but their spirits are free. Let us commit ourselves to the cause, to the fight, to the dream of a free Hong Kong. And let us tell the world, we will not forget, we will not give up, and we will never stop standing for justice. Thank you. And let us remain united in hope and in action. Thank you.
下一位北加代表係嘛？你可以介紹你自己團體或者講廣東話啦嘛，一個英文一個。
OK， 我係阿 Ken， 咁咧就我其實今日發表嘅意見係代表我自己啦。雖然我係即係北加州香港會。In those 45 people get convicted and sentenced, Benny Tai, Dai Yue-ting, get the harshest sentence. It's 10 years in prison. So it's the most harshest sentence under the national security law so far. So people is not following Hong Kong news on development closely will have a question, why? Why so harsh? We have to go back to the history. See, after the 2019 anti-extradition movement, what happened in Hong Kong? At this time, it's 2 million people of Hong Kong people march on the street. And the Hong Kong government say Hong Kong people were against that kind of movement. So the government is represent the Hong Kong people's view. But what we see in 2019 district council election, pro-democracy camp win over landslide overwhelmingly, take over most of the district electoral council. So 1 year later, 2020, will be a legislative council election. It's Hong Kong's legislature. So we have 70 seats. So the pro-democracy camp come up with an idea from Benny Tai. If the camp can capture 35 or more election seats, so we have the power to veto the government budget, have the power to negotiate. But all those is legal and constitutional. Because Benny Tai not only is an activist, he's a constitutional scholar. So, but what they do is according to Hong Kong's basic law, according to Hong Kong's whatever written in the Hong Kong Communist Constitution, become subversion of the state power. Because authoritarian, they don't want, one thing they don't want. They don't want check and balance. What the pro-democracy camp trying to do is use whatever the power we have given by the check and balance to force the government to sit down, to negotiate, to basically reflect the will of the people. But this is not what dictatorship or authoritarian or the colony in Hong Kong of the CCP's colony will allow to accept. So we also see this is already payback for the thing, for the people in mainland China. We already observed it in 1989 pro-democracy movement. At that time, after Li Peng and Deng Xiaoping imposed the martial law, there's a discussion about to hold a People Congress emergency meeting for the People's Context Standing Committee. Basically, it's trying to reflect people's will to remove to basically declare the martial laws unlawful and remove the people, the leader impose those laws. So this is also a constitutional maneuver in China. But what happened? It's not allowed by the CCP. So Wang Yi, before at the time he's visiting in the United States. So before he can move back, he's already get some people talk to him. So he's not allowed to fly back to Hong Kong, bring back to Beijing, rather fly back to Shanghai. And then afterward, basically there's no way, and also there's no other way to using the legal and constitutional method to reward whatever happened. So what we can see is what we need is a check and balance. So besides Benny Tai, Kennedy also mentioned another person in the one of the 48, Gwyneth Ho Guilang. Before she was arrested and detained, her last story as a journalist is to investigate, basically follow the story of Belarus. It's the country next to Russia. So it's the activist called Maria Koloniskova. from what her story can tell us is Hong Kong in the 2019 movement. We have the Be Water strategy. There's a leaderless movement. So everyone actually is on their own and find out their way to contribute to the movement. So even though the Hong Kong movement gets suppressed, but what the strategy and the way for protest actually have a great impact in the Belarus 2020 and 2021 protest movement. So we can see, even though in one place the movement gets suppressed, but whatever the inspiration from one place can inspire people from the others. So another thing I want to say is after the November 18th, the 10th sentence is coming out. Soon after, He Guilan, her Facebook page, had posted about 40-something points. She has reflected on her own role, the movement, and also what is going forward. If you haven't get a chance to look at her post, I highly recommend you to go to the Facebook and look for what she said. One last thing I want to say is, this say Freedom 47 is the 47 activists in Hong Kong. But the 47 also have other meaning in United States. It's the 47 of the President of the United States. There will have a peaceful transfer of power next January. So I believe people here may have different point of view about what the policy you want to have and what the country may want to go. But in light of the authoritarian trend over the world, I think one of her recommendations, most of us will agree. Basically, including 3 points. First, defend and repair your own democracy. Second, push back on any corruption of power. Number 3, exercise your democracy value by action. So I believe that is by action we can show who we are, what our value is, and what we are fighting for. That is our way to honor the 47 distinguished fighters in Hong Kong. Thank you. One more part, sorry. We have a Christmas card signing event in 2 weeks from now in Granville St. It's December 7th. So in the afternoon. So if you want to get some more information, you can come to me afterward. Thank you.
多謝。講for香港 ，Free Hong Kong。下一位呢位先生出嚟係2分鐘唔該。真係2分鐘啊！你好，
各位你好，我係香港出世，根本有啲我哋香港出世嗰時係英國殖民地，我哋英國殖民地97之前係管治係最好，同埋穩定經濟進步同埋社會安寧。不過自從97之後接管大陸，搞到而家咧 2014年嗰個喺旺角示威度爆發衝突，2019年搞到嗰個國安法叫做一個逃犯事件，搞到亂七八糟，人嘗試用嗰個香港警察用速龍小隊打啲示威者，搞到女仔搞到隻眼盲咗，搞到有人跳樓自殺，同埋冇用嗰啲官員，但係而家47人案搞到有人坐到10年，人係要冤枉自由人係咁嘅，但係要發啲制裁香港嘅人個官員，第一而下一任美國總統特朗普制裁香港個特朗普，你嗰個新嗰個下一任國務卿同埋美國司法部制裁香港嗰個官員，第一就係李家超，第二陳國基，第三鄧炳強係搞到人冇自由，冇啲人走陣，啲外資撤走，就連大陸啊嗰人走曬外資啲嘢撤走去到東南亞國家，我哋要支持解除嗰個國安法同埋恢復自由。第二，嗰個釋放嗰個黎智英，而家係搞到俾人打啊，仲交關。第三，盡快要嗰個我哋要盡守我哋香港自由權力同埋促進嗰啲國家，請國家制裁香港啲官員，聽到未？
呢個係最後一位啦，除咗有咩邊個係好想嚟講 ？OK。Thank you. Are you going to speak in Chinese or Mandarin or English? Yeah. English. Okay. Thank you.
My name is Valerie Sampson. Okay. I spent only 18 hours as a prisoner of the People's Liberation Army in 1989. 18 hours, that was it. They let me go. I was a foreigner. They had no hope for revising the way I thought, and I wouldn't have wanted to revise the way I thought anyway. But when I see these young faces behind me and the number of days, not just hours, days, months, years that they're spending in prison, it breaks my heart. I know that they are as dedicated as anybody in 1989. And of course, many in 1989 were killed. Many were maimed. Many fled because they knew the harsh punishments that they would have to endure if they were caught. But these young people, and I call them young because I'm old now, have put their lives on the line, and they have stood up where many would not have stood up. I remember a young person in Beijing once telling me, if we didn't have to lie, do you think we would? And because I noticed that in this country, you don't find so many people who are trying to not say what they think. But now I appreciate what he was trying to tell me. He was saying, we're not safe. We don't have the country where we can speak freely. We can't write freely. We can't do the things that people in places where they respect human rights can do. So I was thinking, if we could stand out here for every minute these people are in jail, it would be a temptation to do that. Because I want the Chinese government to never forget that these people are not alone and that we will never forget, no matter what they do, and that the long light that these young people have shed onto Hong Kong and the rest of the world is still shining, no matter where they are. It's almost like the protests back in the 60s when I was a young person, and there was the Vietnam War going on, there was the Civil Rights Movement, and even though that's a completely different era than now, but look at the results, that we do have some progress. It's not enough, but it's something. And in a few decades from now, who's to say? Maybe we're going to make some progress with Hong Kong and in other places in the world where terrible things are happening. Thank you so much for listening to me and for coming. And I'm never going to give up.
Thank you for supporting us. OK， 跟住就係一個好簡短嘅祈禱。牧師先至。Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong political prisoners!
Thank you。好啊，大家 unshackle 下啲 stress 先，祈禱之前散晒啲 stress 先。我另有一個清心一齊禱告，尊重你，用你自己嘅心裏邊嘅信念，我哋同心禱告，好冇？咁咧喺開始之前咧，我想用今日大家都知道啦，黎智英咧啱啱就係第95日嘅聆訊啦。咁我想用佢咧喺同法庭講嘅最後一個補充啊，佢咁樣講，我用佢呢句説話咧，祈禱嘅開始。佢咁樣講，尋日嘅啫。其他人即管錯誤咁樣去解讀，真相將會喺天國裏邊得勝。對我嚟講已經足夠，真理將會喺天國裏邊得勝。對佢嚟講已經足夠。我哋同心禱告。創天造地嘅神啊，我將我哋香港整個環境，所有喺度受緊苦嘅弟兄姊妹交託俾你。主耶穌，我哋知道呢條路係非常之難行，日後會更加難行。我哋唔足夠，我哋軟弱，我哋只不過係人，我哋會疲累。我哋就係需要你，主耶穌，我哋需要你嘅光照，需要你嘅力量，需要你嘅保護，以致我哋唔再懼怕，可以手拖手攜手，為咗呢個公義，為咗我哋民主自由，為咗上帝你俾我哋嗰個人權，可以行多一步。我哋唔係 empty talk， 我哋係要有 action。每人喺自己崗位裏邊，俾我哋有勇氣去彰顯你嘅公義。上帝，我哋再將唔單止係喺監獄裏邊嘅朋友，我求你都去安慰佢哋屋企人喺咁多年裏邊嗰種嘅孤單感、嗰種無助感、嗰啲嘅眼淚。主耶穌，你一滴都冇忘懷過。求你堅固我哋每一個人嘅心，俾我哋剛強壯膽。即使喺地上我哋見唔到公義，但我哋深信你嘅審判必定會來臨。我哋咁樣禱告係奉主耶穌你得勝嘅名字祈求 ，Amen。
我哋跟住就播榮光，希望大家可以，如果有張紙嘅，大家跟住張紙一齊唱。如果有邊個冇嘅，我有冇多啊？嗱，各位如果有邊個嗱，我1分鐘啊，30秒之後就播噶啦
會館威後四小姐站咪，有邊個就可以站咪長歌 ，Tommy 站咪長歌。好多卡拉 OK 之聲佢出嚟啊！有邊個可以？3個咪俾晒啦。有邊個出嚟冇拍手 ？OK。跟住唱歌冇手，最緊要嘅大家就係張大合照。OK， 今日真係好多人。OK， 咁咪大家爭到仲有2個咪有邊個啊？嚟哥。遲到女王，咁我哋呢度鬧咗幾個人，仲有邊位？冇話就係林先。OK， 好， 都係啲你哋有冇俾咗先？好嘅。
繼續，兩五 K，
係啊，冇錯嘅。我話將多少少呢度咧，就個位唔使咁遠嘅。啊，呢個幾多冇留咗講位。啊，邊個唔預？係啊，點解咁樣拆聲？非常好啊！你哋可以企過少少呢度咁樣影埋呢邊喎嚇，或者企喺呢度咁可以影埋啊嚇，或者揾一張去企喺呢邊影埋嗰47人嗰啲相喎，今日啊企呢度咁樣影落去。咁啊，我哋擺喺度咧，影埋呢邊叫大家睇。大家望住你。啊，望住你先，望住阿 Candy 嗰邊 ，OK。嗱，影望呢邊先啦。俾咗5秒之後就Thomas 呢邊啦 ，OK。我哋而家望呢邊，望住係 Building 嗰邊，係啦。OK， 多謝大家各位。最後一張 ，OK。
你向我啊？你話？再一張。嗱，望住中間，望住中間係。再見香港 ，Free 香港，打倒共產黨，港獨官員死清楚。港獨官員死清楚，唔使驚啦，小馬啊！港獨官員死清楚。
OK， 望住。
Lucy， 咁我哋差唔多噶咯喎。Lucy？
好啦，多謝我哋嘅觀眾朋友收睇啦。啱啱大家睇嘅係全球聲援民主派47人案三藩市嘅香港人嘅集會嘅活動。咁多謝我哋嘅香港朋友收睇，亦都多謝三藩市嘅香港手足。我哋呢一次嘅直播到此為止，多謝大家，再見，拜拜。